My last thing, I'm just gonna take my texture shears and I'm just gonna lightly work the heavy parietal line that I kind of left, just to give some bulk in that area. Just gonna work that line and make it smooth. I might grab a couple vertical sections back here and you can see the disconnection where, yes, I wanted bulk, but there's a couple little disconnections where I can lighten that up so that all the hair is tapered from long to short, short to long, which in the end allows your haircuts to grow out the best way they can. It's how haircuts can look good 6 weeks later. And you'll have your guys coming in saying, well, this haircut lasted forever. I feel like it could have kept growing forever. That's because everything's connected. Maybe this isn't the same length as this, but all the way stepped up, it goes a little bit longer, a little bit longer, a little bit longer, and there's no disconnections in between that line. And that goes for every single hair on this head. A little heavy here, so again, I'll take a vertical section just to see where that point is. And I'll lightly get that point out of there. So again, it's a step, everything tapered, which just means short to long, but everything's gotta connect. One way shape, one way or another. I'll slide cut this cowlick just a little, help it lay down just a little better. And then let's start adding a little more texture to the top. I'll just slide cut. I'm gonna comb all this hair to the right, slide cut to the left, cross the grain, and then I'll do the same thing, comb it all the way to the left, and slide cut to the right. I'll find cowlicked areas. So we talked about in the beginning where this hair really wants to lay a certain way. So this hair really wants to lay this way. So I'll pull up the hair and I'll cut the opposite way just to kind of mess with that hair's natural pattern. You can see it really starts to break it up and lets it move opposite the way that it wants to move. Take my razor, again, directional cutting, pushing the hair opposite the way that it wants to grow. So I'm telling that hair and breaking it up and telling it can go another way. I'll find little spots throughout. This hair really wants to lay flat, so I'll push it straight up and go against the grain, directionally telling that hair that it doesn't have to sit so flat. It can kind of have some movement. We'll go around and just smooth any areas that just look like they're heavy. Sorry, bud. Couple little points here. If you see a point, you see a disconnection where something is going from short to long and long to short again, just break it up just a little bit so we don't have huge disconnections anywhere in the hair. Everything should work together. And you still get to keep that weight. That weight is just balance. Make sure that 0 degrees is perfect. All the hair that's laying in the front, make sure that if their hair was wet and it was laying down, that everything would be even, which is what we did in the beginning, but we'll just double check that the texture didn't throw that off a little bit. Anywhere where the hair is thicker than other, you can see that this hair grows a little finer than this hair. So that's a great place to do some point cuts and just break up the densities so everything looks a little more even and symmetrical. And it just looks like it grows even. Cool. I like that. We're gonna shave Ian's neck. Put a hot towel first. A little oil, then lather. Make sure we don't irritate the neck. So always make sure before you start putting lather and wet aftershaves and wet products on your client that you've got all the hair cleaned off so nothing sticks to them. Double, triple check your haircut. Make sure you got it exactly where you want it. Lift your chin up for me. I'm gonna hit Ian with the box shaver down here so this hair is super clean. Make sure when you're doing a beard trim, you uncape your client and then finish the beard trim. You're always gonna be covering half of the neckline up with the cape, so you have to make sure you remove that cape and you get all the extra hairs that are down here. If you have a client that's growing a lot of hair out of their chest, I just like to nick it, not shave a line. We're just feathering it with the T-finisher clipper to make sure it blends in with the rest of the hair. Trust me, little thing. Should all right, super? Now I'm gonna use my mirror, always keep your chin all the way up for me, to make sure that my neckline is perfect. The mirror is always gonna tell you the truth when you're standing to the side of your client. It's really easy, chin up again, to be off because you're not seeing it straight on from behind. So make sure you're checking your necklines, your beard lines, everything in the mirror to get the best symmetry. Tell me that doesn't look fucking amazing. Come on now. You wanted to smile real big, but you didn't. You're trying to play it cool. Fine. Right, all the hairs off our client. I like to use just a nice shave oil to massage into the neck to make sure their pores and hairs are ready to be shaved so we don't get any irritation. We'll shave where we did the box razor just to make sure that's nice and clean. Grab a hot towel. When you're putting your hot towels on, all you're gonna do is grab the 2 hot towels from the longest ends, flip it over in your hand. The straight part of the towel goes on the neck. The first 2 ends get tucked over each other. Then the other back ends that are behind you just fold over. This ensures that the towel is not gonna fall and it covers their entire hairline, which is really important. So I'll show you guys that one more time. All you're gonna do is flip your towel over, holding both ends. Then you have 4 points. These first 2 points get folded up in the front of the head. You'll have these back 2 points and they just lay over the top. And then you get this. So this is a good time with this towel to use to clean off any extra hairs you might have missed that were dry. And just lather along the edges of your client. I like to use my thumb, keeping one hand dry. Just using your thumb to work the lather around, keeping one hand dry just in case you get it somewhere that you need to clean it up. Make sure your hands are clean of soap and then dry before you grab your straight razor so you don't have a more chance to slip. Make sure you're wiping away the lather before you shave, ensuring that there's no scars or moles or any irritations or anything you can cut or irritate any further. It's really important. When you're wiping that lather, you're really feeling the skin while you're looking, making sure you don't feel anything that you could nick. Make sure you're stretching the skin with each pass. If your client's head straight up, just ask them to please put your head down just a little. Have them work with you so the skin's stretched so you don't grab the skin. Always after shave. Like to rub it in pretty well and then fan it off so it feels cool because it does get warm. You're gonna use the towel that's on the back of your client that made sure no hair got down the back of their neck to dry. Wipe all the wet off before flipping it over to the dry side. Making sure you always put powder on your clients to close those pores and keep dirt from getting in. Just lightly blotting. And then wiping it away. No one should have white powder sticking all over their... Got one. I need to go a little higher on this side. If you ever see anything that you want to fix, it's never too late. Even if they're walking out to their car door, I'll go grab someone if I see something that looks crazy. So never be afraid to double, triple check your work. All right, I'm gonna add sea salt spray. I added a little before, but now this is a little drier, so we'll get some tack. We're gonna do just a messy look, so we're just gonna blow dry this hair all over the place till it's dry. Making sure we're pushing forward on the cowlicks so that's not sticking up. And then up in the front where it wants to lay down flat. I want to make sure our hair is completely dry before we add any other product. I totally got you back there a little bit. Sorry, bud. I don't even know what it is. I didn't cut anything. It's just a little something. A little something to leave you with. They call that a souvenir. Okay. So I like to use a lower heat. It's not cold, but a lower heat. So dry your hair slow. Don't be in a rush to dry the hair. You're just gonna make the hair more wild than it wants to be. You're not gonna have a soft look. You'll dry the hair out and it'll just look dry. And how does it look when you dry the hair too hot? It just looks dry. It almost looks frizzy. Looks frizzy. Frizz the hair out and it looks dry. That's exactly right. So you always want to use a low heat so we don't make the hair frizzy. We don't make the hair look dry. And then I think we're going to use powder on Ian so we can get so much texture. I love this powder. You just pick up the hair, put the powder in the root, just sprinkle it lightly. After I get it in all the sections, we're just going to work it in until we get the style we're going for, which is just kind of messy and all over the place. What you think, Ian? So you got a nice tight fade, super heavy texture on top, little skin on the bottom working down into just kind of a messy stubble and a mustache. You like that? Feel good? It looks good on you. Okay.
My face looks like.
I know, that's what your face looks like. You like it?
Yeah.
You're stuck with it. That's your face forever, bud. I sure did make it look better though, didn't I? You're welcome. Put in a little spot right there. Let's mess with this little spot real quick. The 2 little cowlicks on the side of your head? I like them. They're awesome. So after styling, if you see, and always style before you let your guys know, always style before you let your guys out of the chair, because whatever you see when they style, they're gonna see when they style at home. So make sure you haven't left any hairs that are gonna make it difficult for them to style their hair easily at home. So it's just a little heavy right there. We'll double check symmetry. Always make sure if you did something to the one side that it doesn't need to happen to the other side. It kind of didn't. I like that little bit of heaviness right there. So when you're gonna show their client the back of the haircut, just if you can see the haircut in the mirror, they can see it too, and just slowly walk it around as opposed to making them grab the mirror and pay it to like kind of figure out how to see it by themselves. So you see that? Feel good?
Oh yeah.
You look great, bud. You're the best. Thanks for letting me take care of you today. All right, you come back and see me soon, huh?
Oh, I will.
Okay.